A man walks into Starbucks and locks eyes with the barista for a few seconds, but doesn't say a word. He wants coffee, he's craving it, but just stands there, waiting for the barista to somehow guess. 5 seconds. 10. The silence becomes awkward. The barista asks, but he still hesitates. Sounds ridiculous, right? Now replace coffee with a promotion, a healthy relationship, or a new lifestyle. Do you realize that this might be exactly what you're doing with your own life? You spend years working hard, learning, doing everything right, yet you keep hitting the same invisible wall. Deep down, you're constantly wondering, why can't I ever get what I want? And the answer is way simpler than you think. Yes, that question holds an uncomfortable truth, one most people are too afraid to face. The answer lies in a detail so subtle, it's almost always overlooked. But once you see the pattern, everything changes. Because asking the right way is the very first step to unlocking your mind, your life, and everything that's been stuck. Makes you think, doesn't it? So go ahead, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and grab a pen and paper. What you're about to learn in the next few minutes might seem small, but it has the power to flip the switch on everything that feels stagnant. Because you're just one decision, or rather, one ask away from the life you've been dreaming of. Most people walk through life as if they need permission just to dream. And the cruelest part? They don't even realize it. It's like they've been carrying around an invisible sign on their back since childhood that says, I don't deserve it. Why? Unresolved trauma, hurtful words from bitter people, or maybe a culture that praises humility but twists it into self-denial. So when the time comes to ask for something with confidence, your voice catches, your mind shuts it down, and the ask dies before it's even spoken. This isn't about lack of ability, it's self-sabotage dressed up as being realistic. The truth is, this block is so sneaky that people spend their entire lives waiting for love, recognition, promotions, opportunities, as if the world is supposed to magically guess what they want. But won't. And that's when the frustration sets in. The stagnation. That nagging feeling like you're stuck in an invisible loop. Studies from Harvard have shown that the lower your self-esteem, the harder it is to clearly and intentionally express what you want. So here's the real question. What part of your life are you silently hoping someone else would just figure out? Because until you learn the power of asking, whatever it is you're longing for will stay exactly where it is, just out of reach. Asking isn't just about courage. It's about giving your mind a command. Your brain works like a GPS. But here's the catch. It doesn't respond to vague ideas like, I want a better life. It needs clear coordinates. When you say you want to improve your life, your brain immediately asks, improve how? Financially? Emotionally? By when? And if it doesn't get an answer, it stalls. Clarity and intention are the keys that unlock focus, motivation, and automatic behavior. That's what activates real emotional intelligence, not some vague advice about just think positive. According to a study from Stanford, people who write down clear goals and visualize them in detail are up to 42% more likely to achieve what they want. This isn't superstition, it's neuroscience. When you give your brain precise direction, it starts spotting connections, resources, and shortcuts that were invisible before. Even better, it starts filtering out anything that doesn't align with your goals. So if you're serious about reprogramming your mind, the first step isn't meditating or reading another book. It's knowing exactly what you want and how to ask for it. And that brings us to one of the most powerful techniques to start making requests that actually work. Technique number 1. Most people think they're asking for what they want, but in reality, they're just tossing vague wishes into the wind. Saying, I want a good job isn't a clear request. It's avoiding the responsibility of defining what you really want. Asking smart means being almost surgically precise. What exact position? What salary range? In what city? By when? And how do you want to feel the day it happens? That level of clarity is what separates people who live on hope from those who live with purpose. The difference between luck and strategy lies in the details. And that's when the mental shift begins. Once your brain understands the request as a clear mission, it activates an internal radar, and suddenly, things around you start aligning. It may feel like magic, but it's really the power of smart asking in action. Want to try it right now? Grab a pen and paper and write down your most important ask using this simple checklist. What exactly do you want? By when? In what form? And how do you want to feel when you achieve it? Sounds simple, right? That's because it is. But inside that simplicity is one of the biggest secrets of people who actually get what they want. And what happens when you combine strategy with faith? That's when the real leap begins. Technique number 2. Children have a superpower that most adults lose along the way. They believe without needing proof. When a child says, "I'm going to be an astronaut," they're not asking reality for permission. They're making an inner pact with their dream. That's the kind of faith that moves, unlocks, and expands everything. When adults plan like engineers but believe like children, the results can be extraordinary. This kind of genuine faith, when combined with clarity, breaks through limiting beliefs that can paralyze even the most talented people. Because asking without faith is like mailing a letter and forgetting the stamp. Most people don't realize they're sabotaging themselves simply because they don't truly believe in what they're asking for. They say what they want, but their tone carries doubt, and the universe hears that as meh, doesn't really matter. That's where the system breaks down. Asking with faith means charging your request with emotional energy. It means activating the part of your mind that believes in the impossible, even when everything around you says otherwise. Those who reach this level of belief unlock their potential. They begin to move lightly, without needing outside approval to feel worthy. When you learn to plan with logic but believe with the heart of a child, you'll realize something. You've been much closer to real transformation than you ever imagined. And what if this faith had a deadline to be tested? What if, for just 90 days, you fully committed to what you truly want? No vague promises. No New Year's resolutions that disappear by February. This challenge is simple and direct, but can spark a powerful internal shift. Every day, for 3 months, write down 3 clear asks. Say them out loud, as if you're speaking to someone who can deliver exactly what you're asking for. This daily practice rewires how your brain interprets your desires. Over time, it begins to reprogram your mind to accept, seek out, and create real opportunities. Yes, just try this for 90 days and watch what changes. Most people have never consistently tested their own faith. They try once, it doesn't work, and they quit. But real transformation comes from habit, not impulse. When you embed this new pattern of clarity and intention into your routine, you stop waiting for life to hand you something, and you start leading your own path. So tell me, right here in the comments, with courage and no filter, what's your biggest dream? Write out with detail. Don't hold back, even if it feels too ambitious. I'll read every single one, and I'll leave a personalized tip that might just change how you ask and how you receive. Because you might be just one ask away from the life you've always wanted. Sometimes, what you're missing isn't more knowledge, more effort, or more time. What's missing is the courage to ask clearly, the faith to believe it's possible, and the consistency to stick with it every single day. Asking is simple, but most people overcomplicate it. Why? Because asking means owning what you want. And that stirs up everything you've been taught about worthiness, self-confidence, and invisible limits. But now, you've got tools in your hands. This isn't theory. These are real, transformative practices. So start turning the wheels. Don't wait another week. Don't wait for the perfect moment or another excuse. Write down your 3 asks right now. Say them out loud. Repeat them tomorrow and the next day. And keep going for the next 90 days. What feels small today might just be the turning point of your story. And if this message resonated with you, share it with someone who also needs to stop waiting and start acting. Drop your biggest dream in the comments, and I'll reply with real guidance to help you shift the way you ask and receive. Sometimes, all life is really waiting for is for you to finally ask.